So if you're considering moving to the Portland metro area and are struggling to decide what part of the city is right for you, then you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to share what I believe to be the best neighborhood in each of Portland's 6 quadrants and why you might want to consider moving there. So 4 years ago, I moved from California to Portland, Oregon, and one of the biggest decisions I had to make was to identify what part of the city was the best fit for me and my family. And as I've been through that relocation process myself and also helped many other families with their relocation, I wanted to share the wide range of neighborhoods that Portland has to offer. So in this video, I'm going to highlight my favorite neighborhoods in each of Portland's 6 quadrants. So before we do that, let's take a moment to give you a little overview on what these 6 quadrants are. So let's dive into the map. So there are 6 quadrants in Portland, and I know the word quadrant sounds like there should just be 4, but here in Portland we like to do things a little differently. The Willamette River divides the city into 2 sections. East of the river you have North Portland, Northeast Portland, and Southeast Portland. And then west of the Willamette River you have South Portland, Southwest Portland, and then Northwest Portland. Now each of these quadrants are very different, and if you're considering moving to the Portland metro area, the first question you should ask yourself is which quadrant is right for you, and of course throughout this video I'm going to help you answer that question. Okay, so before we dig into these quadrants in more detail and talk about my favorite neighborhood within each quadrant, I did want to mention that I am a real estate broker based here in Portland, Oregon. So if you're thinking of making a move to the Portland metro area, please do reach out to me. Feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and let's start that conversation today. Okay, so now let's talk about my favorite neighborhood in Northwest Portland. So in Northwest Portland, you'll find a real contrast in neighborhoods. And this includes the trendy high-rises of the Pearl District to one of the country's largest parks, which is of course Forest Park. However, my favorite neighborhood in Northwest Portland has to be Forest Heights. This is where you're going to find beautiful, larger homes with some truly incredible views. So Forest Heights is a planned community in Portland's Northwest Hills, and it was built back in the 1990s. It's located approximately 5 miles northwest of downtown Portland, so it's about a 10 to 15 minute drive to some of the best restaurants in the city. There are several big businesses in the area. Nike's world headquarters employs over 11,000 people, and it's just a 4-mile drive away. Intel also has several campuses nearby, all within about 10 miles, so this area is highly desirable to employees of these large corporations. Forest Heights is a fairly affluent neighborhood with large single-family homes. Many of these homes are over 4,000 square feet, and some may include a 3 or even 4-car garage. In addition to the large single-family homes, there are also some smaller townhouses and condos in the neighborhood. There are several reasons why Forest Heights is very desirable, one of which is the stunning views. Now this is a hilly area, so many of the houses here will have sensational views. However, the downside of that is that the homes typically don't have flat lots, so yard space can be a little limited. There is a small shopping area directly within the Forest Heights neighborhood, which has some of the basic amenities, including a coffee shop, cafe, grocery store, and Pizzicato Pizza. But overall, there is not much in the neighborhood, and you'll likely have to jump in your car for more options. Of course, this is a very centrally located neighborhood. Downtown Portland is just a few miles away, so within a 10 to 15 minute drive, you'll have all the facilities nearby that you could possibly need. A large proportion of the Forest Heights development is dedicated to green spaces. You'll see many mature trees in the neighborhood, as well as several walking trails and also a couple of parks. The Mill Pond Park is situated next to the shopping area, so it's a great place to come for a walk after grabbing a coffee. The park spans over 8 acres and has a large playground, amphitheatre, picnic tables with barbecues, and a well-maintained pond with fountain. So overall, Forest Heights is a great place to live, especially if you want proximity to downtown and also some of Portland's largest employers, including Nike and Intel. In terms of housing, you'll typically find larger single-family homes here, and then some newer townhomes and a few condos. This area was developed in the last 30 years, so it's newer than most of Portland, especially the east side, which has houses well over 100 years old. Now in terms of pricing, then townhomes start off around $400,000, then some of the larger single-family homes with great views can sell for over $1 million. You may find something a little bit lower than that, $700,000 to $800,000 for the smaller homes, but overall homes in this area sell for higher than Portland's median sale price. Now, many people choose this area for great views, great schools, amenities, and of course the proximity to some of the larger employers, which is why Forest Heights is my top pick for Northwest Portland. Okay, so now let's move on and talk about my favorite neighborhood in North Portland. So North Portland has a completely different feel to Northwest Portland. Homes here are much smaller. In fact, in some areas of this quadrant, you'll find single family homes that are well under 1,000 square feet. Now, if we take a look at the map, you'll see that the quadrant is surrounded by the Willamette River to the south and to the west, and then the Columbia River to the north. This means that when this area was built 100 years ago, and many neighborhoods were built to support the dock workers. Now, my favorite neighborhood in North Portland has to be St. John's. I'm a big fan of this neighborhood because of a couple of beautiful parks, a cute walkable street with retail and dine options, and also some charming and adorable older homes. So the second neighborhood I want to show to you is St. John's, and this is in North Portland. North Portland is surrounded by rivers. You have the Willamette River to the south and to the west, and then the Columbia River to the north. So this is a neighborhood that used to house a lot of the dock workers. So with that in mind, you will see that houses in this neighborhood tend to be on the smaller side, typically around 800 to 1,200 square feet, but some are much smaller. Cathedral Park is a landmark park in St. John's and houses the spectacular St. John's Bridge, which takes you over the river into Northwest Portland. There's a second larger park in St. John's. The Pier Park is an 85-acre park and includes baseball fields, basketball courts, a soccer field, tennis courts, picnic areas, disc golf, and several paved paths. There is also an outdoor lap pool in the south corner of the park, which is open to the public during the summer months. Lombard Street is the main commercial street that goes through St. John's, and here you will find plenty of small stores and places to eat. And it's a really charming little neighborhood with cute stores. I filmed this on a Sunday morning, and you will notice that there are several people out for a walk or grabbing a coffee. So the house prices in St. John's are going to be lower than the average for the Portland metro area because these will be smaller homes. This makes it a popular spot for first-time buyers and people looking to downsize. Single-family homes in this neighborhood start at around $400,000. So I have to put St. John's as my favorite neighborhood in North Portland, not just because of this affordability, but also access to places like Pier Park. That's a really tranquil place to take a stroll. Okay, so now let's move on and talk about Northeast Portland. And both Northeast and Southeast Portland are going to feel very residential. Both of these quadrants have a lot of older historical homes with tree-lined streets. And again, both Northeast and Southeast Portland have a plethora of smaller neighborhoods with neighborhood cafes, bars, restaurants, and small stores. Now, in terms of my favorite neighborhood in Northeast Portland, that's a fairly easy choice for me because I'm going to pick the neighborhood that I actually live in, and that's Irvington. Now I love Irvington, it's really well located, it has so many beautiful homes, the streets are full of older trees, and there's several places to grab a coffee or a bite to eat. There's also a really good community here. You'll find plenty of block parties, and of course there's the historic Irvington home tour. So I live in the Irvington neighborhood, and I may be a little biased, but Irvington is one of my favorite neighborhoods in Portland. The homes here are beautiful, it's a very walkable neighborhood with tree-lined streets. It's also very centrally located. Driving to downtown can take under 10 minutes, and the river keeps a clear separation from the high-rises of downtown to Irvington's more residential style neighborhood. In the northwest corner of Irvington, you have Irving Park, which has plenty of recreational facilities, including tennis, a kids' play area, an off-leash dog area, basketball courts, and of course baseball, softball or kickball pitches. So there are 3 main streets in Irvington where you will find commercial areas. To north you have Fremont Street, where you will find multiple restaurants, cafes and Whole Foods. The second commercial area is on 7th Avenue. This runs along the west of Irvington and is much smaller, but be sure to check out Pocket Pub, which is well known for their pizzas, and the neighbouring 26 Cafe. So in the heart of Irvington you have the Irvington Tennis Club. This has been here since 1898. Now this is a very prestigious members only club and has a fairly long waiting list to join. The club features 4 indoor tennis courts, 2 outdoor courts, an outdoor swimming pool, and also a weight room and several event rooms. Now if good schools are important to you, then Irvington should be high up on your list. Grant High School is known to be one of the best in the city, and the Irvington Elementary School is also highly rated. So back in 2010, Irvington was designated a historic neighborhood with many homes dating back over 100 years old. It's also now the largest historical neighborhood in all of Oregon. So the type of person who moves here tends to like the older homes that are full of character and charm. Okay, so in terms of housing, Irvington will mostly be single family homes with only a few condos located on the south border of the neighborhood. Homes here started around 1,700 square feet, which would likely be a 3-bedroom home, and prices started around $650,000. Now there are larger homes in this neighborhood too, with plenty of options over 3,000 square feet. That's going to be a 4 or 5 bedroom home, and prices for these will likely start at around $1 million. Now if you're looking for a home with a lot of older character in a charming neighborhood, then Irvington could be a great fit for you. But so could several other neighborhoods across northeast or southeast Portland, including Beaumont, Wilshire, Alberta, and Laurelhurst. So we're now halfway through our list about what I feel are my favorite neighborhoods in each of the 6 quadrants. However, before we continue, I did want to ask that if you're enjoying this video, please do consider subscribing to my channel. And also, don't forget I am a real estate broker and my job is to match you with your perfect neighborhood. So please don't hesitate to give me a call or send me a text or send me an email, and I'll definitely be able to help you. Okay, so now let's move on and take a look at what I feel is the best neighborhood in southeast Portland. So as mentioned earlier, the overall vibe of southeast Portland and northeast Portland is fairly similar. Both quadrants are primarily residential with neighborhood cafes and dining options scattered throughout. Now my favorite neighborhood in southeast Portland is Eastmoreland, and that's because of this neighborhood has beautiful homes. It does have a similar vibe to Irvington, but it also features a botanical garden, and some homes also have views over a golf course. Now if you're a golfer, then this might be the neighborhood for you. The Eastmoreland golf course, which is right behind me, this opened in 1917, is actually Oregon's 2nd oldest golf course. It's a full 18-hole course and it costs around $45 to play around here. Now something you'll notice is that many homes in the neighborhood actually face onto the golf course. The golf course is really a centerpiece for the community, so many homes here have great views, and it also makes the neighborhood feel more green and less densely populated. Now on the topic of houses, you're typically going to find larger homes here than the average across Portland. This is a fairly affluent neighborhood, so home prices are going to be on the higher end, and we'll touch on prices a little later in this video. But if you start to look behind me, you'll get an idea on the vibe of homes that are in this area. The smaller homes in the neighborhood are around 2,500 square feet. The larger properties go up to around 4,000 square feet and a little bit higher, but most homes here are going to be 3 to 5 bedrooms and single family homes. It's an older neighborhood. There's approximately 1,600 households here, and most were built between 1910 and the mid-1930s. This is also a neighborhood where most people who live here own their own home. In fact, approximately 90% of the houses here are owner occupied. Now, bordering the Eastmoreland golf course is the Crystal Springs Rhododendron Garden, and this is one of the highlights of the community. It's a botanical garden located on the northwest side of the neighborhood. It's approximately 9.5 acres in size. It opened in 1950, and it's a really beautiful place to come for a stroll. So Eastmoreland is one of the more expensive parts of the city to live. This neighborhood is almost all single family homes, and homes here will be comparable in price to Irvington. However, homes in this neighborhood tend to start a little larger in size, so to purchase a property here, you'll likely set you back at least $800,000, and prices can go over $1 million for the larger, grander homes. Okay, so now let's move on and talk about South Portland, which has a completely different feel to what we've seen so far. So South Portland is Portland's newest and smallest quadrant, and the South Waterfront neighborhood has some beautiful modern condos overlooking the Willamette River. So it's an easy choice for my favorite neighborhood in this quadrant. So South Waterfront is located in Portland's newest and smallest quadrant, which is South Portland, and this is located directly south of downtown Portland and sits on the west bank of the Willamette River. And the first phase of the development was in 2004, and construction is still ongoing. You'll find a mix of residential and commercial buildings here, but all the residential buildings are condos and apartments, and they are fairly upscale, ranging from around 5 stories to over 30 stories tall. So the Oregon Health and Science University, known as OHSU, has a very large campus here, and there's also a tram line to their main campus up on the hill. So this area is a very popular place to live for people who are in the medical field. So not so long ago, this neighborhood was basically a blank canvas. Originally, South Waterfront was an industrial zone dotted with warehouses, shipyards, and far from the residential haven that it is today. Now, the transformation began in the early 2000s, where Portland saw an opportunity to redefine urban living and focused on sustainability, green spaces, and community. And it's an ambitious project, and you can just see the scale of it from behind me. There's huge buildings. Now, fast forward to today, and South Waterfront stands as the best example of modern urban development, and it blends together residential, commercial, and recreational spaces seamlessly. So South Waterfront isn't just any neighborhood, it's a lifestyle choice. It's green, it's sustainable, and it's buzzing with energy. With stunning riverside parks and miles of scenic pathways and green streets, South Waterfront is a great place to live if you like modern living combined with nature. So if you're looking for a condo rather than a single family home, this could be a great area for you. It's a beautiful spot to take a walk along the Willamette River, and there's plenty of amenities nearby to keep you occupied. Also, if you're in the medical field, then the proximity to OHSU campus here will also make this a really appealing place to live. Now, prices in this neighborhood can really vary. The entry point can be as low as $300,000, but prices can also exceed $1 million for a top floor penthouse with some beautiful views. Now finally, last but not least, let's turn our attention to Southwest Portland. Now, similar to Northwest Portland, you're going to find a wide variety between the different neighborhoods here. Southwest Portland contains the high rises of downtown, the Southwest Hills, which has some grand views, walking trails too, but then my favorite neighborhood in Southwest Portland is Multnomah Village. So Multnomah Village is located here in Southwest Portland, just a few miles from downtown, and the locals regard it as the village in the heart of Portland, and the neighborhood offers a unique blend of small town charm, urban conveniences. It's got cozy shops and tree-lined streets and a friendly community. Multnomah Village really is a hidden gem in the city. Now, one of the highlights of Multnomah Village is its vibrant shopping and dining scene. The main street is lined with locally owned boutiques, antique stores and art galleries and bookstores. This gives it a distinctly charming and eclectic feel. So if you're looking for a unique gift or just want to browse, there's really something for everyone here. So walking through the residential streets of Multnomah Village, you'll find a real variety of homes from styles. Charming bungalows and craftsman houses to mid-century homes and modern builds. The neighbour's historic charm is evident in its well-preserved architecture and then beautiful mature trees in every direction. Now, homes here typically range from around 1,500 to 3,000 square feet, with 2 to 4 bedrooms being the norm. So for those of you who enjoy spending time outdoors, Multnomah Village offers several parks and green spaces. I'm currently in Gabriel Park, which is in the northwest part of the city. This is a really popular spot offering 90 acres of trails, sports fields, a community centre, and there's also a skate park behind me. This is overall a great spot for anybody who enjoys spending time outside. So Multnomah Village is very popular with people looking for a small community, but still has all the features of the city. You have a couple of great parks here, and the small walkable retail area is a centre point for the community to gather. Now, if you wish to purchase a home in this neighbourhood, then starting prices for a single family home can start a little under $600,000. So those are my personal favourite neighbourhoods in each quadrant, but please do remember this is of course a personal choice. I don't expect everybody to agree with my decisions, so please let me know down in the comments what you feel your favourite neighbourhood is in each of these quadrants. If you'd like to know more about these neighbourhoods, I recommend you check out this playlist next, which goes into more detail. Otherwise, please do reach out to me if I can help you with your move to the Portland metro area. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.